Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Very sad to see the death of Mills Lane. If you're of a certain age, as they say, you will remember Mills Lane very, very vividly. Diminutive, tough little sod. Former Marine, began boxing in the Marines, turned pro, ended up with a 10 wins and 1 defeat record, welterweight I think he was, and became a referee. I think I'm right. When? I can't remember the exact year, but I think he refereed his first world title fight in 1971. I don't know when he started refereeing. It was some years before that, but very, very no nonsense. You know, used to bark orders, and you paid attention. And had the catchphrase "Let's get it on." He would introduce the fighters. He would speak to the fighters. During the instructions, he'd say, you know, "Let's get it on." Became a bit of a catchphrase for him. Probably the most famous fight that he refereed has got to be the Tyson-Holyfield rematch, where Tyson ripped a piece of Holyfield's ear off, spat it on the floor, and people were actually saying to Mills, you know, like questioning, why did you stop the fight? Why did you disqualify Tyson? Oh, let me have a think about that one. I'll get back to you. Yeah, and then post, I don't know if he ever actually retired from refereeing, because I think he was forced into it because he had a stroke, and in fact he was, I think, laying on the floor of his house for a few days before he was found. And of course, if you have a stroke, lack of oxygen to the brain, you've got to have attention pretty damn quickly. So I end up in a wheelchair with very limited mobility and cognitive abilities. Yeah, shame that. It's horrible when something like that happens. And he was kind of, I think, forced to retire. But he had several careers, because apart from being a boxing referee, and a very, very good one, he was also, like I say, he was in the Marines. That's where he started boxing. When he left the Marines, he became a lawyer. And in fact, ended up with his own syndicated TV show called Judge Mills Lane, which probably a more famous equivalent would be Judge Judy, you know. But you get Mills Lane as a lawyer, you had better have not been a naughty boy or girl, because you're going down, and not in a good way. But Mills was, yeah, real character, wasn't he? 85 years old when he died. But when you consider, I mean, the stroke that he had was some years previously, so being the tough little so-and-so that he was, to make it to 85 after that was some achievement. But yeah, I just wanted to say a few words about him, because like I say, if you're the age I am, I'm in my mid-50s, you will remember Mills Lane as being a staple of boxing in the 80s and 90s. I started watching boxing back in well, I started watching it seriously in the early 80s. So he was always there, really. R.I.P. Mills Lane. Yeah. Yeah, shame. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Mills Lane. Rest in peace, wherever you've gone, if you've gone anywhere. Yeah, I'll catch you later. Take care.